Obviously, the Devidians have found a way to harness this surge of Triolic energy. The existence of the Devidian portal means they're traveling freely between the station in the present and in the past. Since 23rd century technology can't detect the Devidian phase shift, that time period is rife with potential victims. The only choice now is to stop the incursion at the source. You'll have to take that portal into the past and find out how the Devidians are creating this new surge of Triolic energy. Stop them and find a way back without altering the timeline. Don't worry about temporal investigations. I'll pull a few strings. They'll never know you were gone. Best to keep your team small, just in case.
Ensign Jerez set a course for Drazana Station, Warp 4. Flores, Tavrel, let's get a change of uniform. Ensign Jerez, engage. There it is. A Devidian portal back to the 23rd century. As Drake said, a large team would make temporal contamination more likely, so I've just got my first and second officers here with me, Commander Flores and Lieutenant Commander Tavrel, in period-accurate uniforms. And of course, our little gift from Lieutenant Calapo. Here goes nothing. Just remodulating my phaser. Let's do this. Well, there goes the portal, as planned. Because we had to fire a phaser at the opening to get it to open on this side, and the opening is in the 25th century, we'll have to find some way to create a new opening on this side, harnessing the Triolic waves the same way the Devidians do. But that's for later. Our primary mission is to fix the situation here. Set phasers to stun. Tavrel, I hope you have a plan. Tavrel says that we're still on Drazana Station, but in the past. She says we need to be very careful here. If we damage the station or injure anyone, we could damage the timeline irrevocably. She says if Drake doesn't care about the Temporal Prime Directive, we should. We're still Starfleet officers, after all. Quite right, Commander. I just hope you have a plan to get back. Tavrel says we're still in the computer core. She says, fascinating. She wonders why there's no one here. She says from what she remembers about the period, there should be someone here. Even if it's just a technician. Tavrel says if we can find the right parts, she would be able to cobble together a subspace field transmitter and perhaps get an idea of what the Devidians are doing here. But using 23rd century technology will make it much more difficult. The Federation won't develop ways to detect the subspace variances the Devidians use until almost a century from now. She says she'll make a list of the equipment here that we can use to fine-tune the Drazana Station sensor array. She says we can probably find the regulator components somewhere near the computer core, and an induction coil on the power systems level. Understood, we have our objective then. Let's get on it. Tavrel says, no wonder there's no one here. The station is on medical alert. Non-essential personnel are confined to quarters, and the computer core is locked down. She says, unfortunately, that lockdown works both ways. No one can get in, but we can't get out either. She says, lucky for us, these old systems had some well-documented problems. She says it should be simple enough for her to override the controls with her 25th century knowledge. Understood, Tavrel. I'd rather not have our mission fail immediately by a door lock. She says the old Duodronic computers have a memory fault that makes them susceptible to overloads. She says an overload could cause it to lose processors, like the one locking the door to the computer core. She says in this century there shouldn't be any tasks that could overload them, but there's an infamous 24th century warp geometry problem that would be unsolvable with the processing power available to this computer. She says if we set the consoles to divert processing parts to this problem, we might be able to cause a memory overwrite that could make the computer lose its security lockdown. An excellent idea, Commander. Oh, that should be interesting. I'm accessing the Duotronic... Oh my goodness, look at those controls! Right, I'm accessing. No memory faults detected. Critical systems functions normal. Medical alert currently engaged. Memory bank 1 queued. 2 queued. All queued. Setting memory to bank 1. Switching memory in banks 1 and 3. Right, that's cancelled our overload to bank 1, but we can do that again. Bank 3 is now overflowing. Function, systems nominal, control system allocation, banks 1 and 2. Switch memory in banks 1 and 2. Right, we've overloaded both 1 and 2. Terrell says that did it. The door should open now. Thank you, Commander. With me. Door... That's not how I expected it to open. It looked like it would open, It doesn't matter, with me. Right then. I'll scan for anyone else here.
What are you doing down here? The station is on medical alert. Nobody's supposed to be in the computer core area but me. Hey, is that a weapon? Don't try anything, or I'll have to stun you.
I'm lost.
The lift shouldn't have let you come down to this level. How did you get here?
I was, locked down. I was stuck in the lift, when the station actually went to the alert. This is where it let me out. I've been wandering around here ever since. I'm glad you found me. Perhaps you can assist me.
You should have used the intercom to call for assistance. It's not safe to move about the station during a medical alert.
Oh, yeah, of course didn't mean to be down here. Just put that away.
Follow me. I'm going to call security for an escort.
But if I'm contagious, won't that be dangerous?
I guess you're right. Look, just go up to the maintenance lift, get to the emergency medical center as soon as possible, and get checked out. There's a doctor up there who has set up a triage center for the affected patients.
Thank you for the directions. Lieutenant. Oh, that was a close one. These doors really do open weirdly. Anyway. 23rd century charm, I suppose. Checking console for useful items. Let's see if we've got any of the stuff Terrell needs. Duotronic transducer relay. Perfect. Flores says she's reading a patrol team ahead. She says since the station is on medical alert, they're probably following a standard patrol pattern. We might be able to sneak past them or even lock them into one of these side rooms. Really? Where are they now? Oh! Hold on. If they go into that room, we can get up there. What? Belay that order! Shoot him! Stun him! Did they hear that? They didn't hear that with me! God, that was close. Oh. Right, right, from the items that Terrell needed, we just need a plank regulator. Hopefully it's not in that room. More Triolic waves. There must be Devidians somewhere on the station at this time period. As we expected. Oh, hold on, there's an officer. It's not a security officer, and she doesn't look armed. Hold on, perhaps we can just have a casual conversation. Make an excuse like we did for that last science officer. Hi, I'm a bit lost. Can you help me?
Oh, hey. You shouldn't be here. You should get up to the quarantine area.
Yes, I'm actually on my way there right now. What are you working on?
Oh, just running a level 3 diagnostic on the subsystem. The computers on this station are state-of-the-art. I can simulate an entire copy of the station and display every piece of it as a wireframe model.
That sounds impressive. Perhaps you could, show me.
I'm really busy with this diagnostic. Sorry. You really should go up to the quarantine area. Excuse me.
Damn, I need to get a look at that console for the plank regulator. The sooner we can get to know what the Devidians are doing, the better. Well, I guess we tried it the easy way. Sorry. Right, let's look for that plank regulator. Ah, and there it is, the plank regulator. Perfect. Let's hope we don't have to assault any more officers from this century. Right, let's take the maintenance lift. Another Triolic wave shift. Flores says that this isn't the power distribution level. She says security has overwritten the turbolift. They must have detected our arrival, weapons at the ready. Station security will probably be here any minute now. If we're going to get out of this without a fight, we'd better look for alternatives quickly. She says we'll have to find a console that we can use to override the turbolift so we can keep going. Understood, roger that, Commander. Bloody hell, there's a console here. I'm locking the door. Right, that'll buy us some time. Oh. Oh god, they're cutting through the door. There's a Jeffrey. Okay. That was bloody close. I hope they didn't. Oh god, they might actually be coming up here soon. Flores says another group of Starfleet officers ahead. Well, if we're cautious, we might be able to avoid them while they aren't looking. Understood, Commander. Right, weapons ready in case we have to stun them. They'll probably be stunning us because of the medical lockdown. If they're security officers anyway. Another Triolic wave shift. Hold on. That's a lot of people. Just going about my day. That's a commander. Flores, come with me. There's one room. Right, just sneaking through.
Hold it right there!
Oh no. We're lost. Oh Christ, I don't think they believe us. Fire! Fortunately, we've got personal grenade. Christ! I'm overriding the maintenance lift lockout. Right then. I recognize this room. This is where we met that hologram, the malfunctioning one. The one that was assisting the engineer. Another Triolic wave shift. Still no Devidians. Let's keep moving. Another Jeffries tube. Right, I'm taking the lift to the power distribution level. Terrell says we should be able to find an induction coil on this level as part of the power systems. Terrell says then we need to simply rig the subspace inducer to the sensor array, and we can pinpoint the Devidians' incursion. Understood. Right, with me. There's an ensign over there. Must be a medical officer. She's tending to that wounded person. These doors really do open weirdly. Oh, I believe this is the impromptu triage area that the, science officer we encountered earlier mentioned. That must be the doctor he was talking about. Right, let's try to get through here without being noticed. You there! Don't just stand there, come over here and give me a hand. People are dropping like flies on the station, and it's all I can do to keep up. That's so much for not getting noticed. How may we be of assistance, Doctor? McCoy. Leonard McCoy. But there's no time for introductions. Some kind of illness is affecting the people on the station. Blue flashes, ghost stories. There has to be a reason for it, but we need to stop it. People are dying here. What can we do, Doctor? As far as I could tell, all of these people reported seeing those strange blue flashes of light. Now they're all dying. They're worse than dead. Their brains are gone. Whatever this disease is, it's suppressing brain activity at an alarming rate. It's almost as if the energy between the neurons has been removed somehow. That would be consistent with how the Devidians attack their victims. The blue flashes seem to be associated with a strange form of radiation, but we set up a triage center here. That crazy engineer said that the power distribution station is heavily shielded. What kind of radiation are you detecting, Doctor? How should I know? I'm a doctor, not an engineer. The blue flashes are still happening anyway. We need some way to replace the neural energy, jumpstart their brains somehow. Somewhat like reinforcing a drained shield generator, perhaps. I suppose that's one way of looking at it, but the mind is a much more complex and delicate instrument. Maybe that's the key. The brain might be able to restart itself if simulated correctly. Give me the energy it needs, and then stimulus to make it spread throughout the nervous system. I'll need to know how much neural energy the survivors have, so that we can figure out how much they've lost. Then we'll need to apply a cortical stimulator to the correct frequency. It's no panacea, but it'll save the lives of the crew. Tvrel says that saving these lives is important to making sure that everything turns out the way it should. If these people die, then whatever role they played in the correct timeline, they won't be able to fill it. And by the look of things, it's a lot. If all of these people die, then our timeline will almost certainly be impacted. We have to help. Come on, grab a tricorder and start checking the neural activity of some of these survivors. Take note of your readings. We're going to have to calculate the difference from a healthy mind to determine the right frequency to stimulate the brain. A normal human neuron has a resting potential of -70 millivolts. Once you have some readings, we'll calibrate a cortical stimulator to try to revive some of these people. Understood, Doctor. We'll do what we can. Dr. McCoy! He was the chief medical officer of the USS Enterprise. I'm not sure exactly when we are, but if he's not there already, then he will soon be there. Right, scanning. Oh, I see another one. Still conscious, which means we can scan her properly. Right, scanning. Another lieutenant. We need to restore the mind to its baseline state, review your findings, and set a cortical stimulator so that it'll reset the brain back to normal. Hopefully, with a little push from the cortical stimulator, the subject's brain will repair itself. With some time and rest, of course. Right, calibrating the cortical stimulator. The voltage for resting potential, -70 millivolts. The voltage for the action potential, that was 30. Sodium-potassium channel status. I believe the correct state is sodium external, potassium external, and internal. You done with that? Right, let's try it. I just follow the doctor. I hope I got all of this correctly. I hope I did this properly. Oh, he's recovering. It seems we did. Says he's feeling strange but better. It worked. We need to get this to the station commander. Come on. Oh, understood, Doctor, right? You two with me. But we need to find that equipment that Tvrel needed. We'll have to do it later. This is something of a priority. Tvrel says that this might be a good chance for us to find that induction coil. That's a good idea. The doctor can handle all of this. Right, let's try to look inconspicuous. Okay, those officers didn't notice anything. Come on. Right, it should be able to find one here. I'm checking. Right, let's just borrow this induction coil real quick. Tvrel, see what you can do to make that subspace field emitter, and then we can integrate it into the system's scanners, and then we can find those bloody Devidians. Let's get back to the doctor before he notices anything. I'm integrating. Tvrel says it's working. The emitter has adjusted the active scanners for the station. She says imaging shows that the station is becoming suffused with Triolic radiation. The radiation's coming from Driffin's Comet. Driffin's Comet? But that's from our century. It must have passed through here in the 23rd century as well. That's fascinating. She says the comet itself is emitting mass amounts of Triolic energy, as it was in our century. She says the Devidians must have realized that is a neural source of energy, and they're using it as an easy way to shift into sync with us. She says it's like riding behind the wake of a ship in the water. But she says that's not all they're doing. Apparently, they're harnessing the Triolic energy and infusing it with chronoton particles. With that, they could have enough energy to move the entire station out of phase. She says maybe even the entire sector. God, I can only imagine the catastrophic effect that would have on our timeline. She says we have to stop them. I would tend to agree with you, Commander. Flores says that the comet is key, but she says that without a ship, there's nothing we can do about the comet, and she doesn't think a 23rd century vessel is going to be able to do the job. Devrel says that with this information, it's clear that we'll have to find some way to destroy Driffin's comet. She says we can use one of the auxiliary reactors in sync with the subspace emitter that we've hooked up to the station in order to make a temporary portal that will take us back to our time. She says once we make it back, we'll have to report in and find some way to bring the ship back with us to destroy the comet. Well, I have a few ideas. Well, we certainly might be able to recreate the equipment that we developed for our previous missions, but it'll take too much time. It is able to integrate with the Barum because of its size, but the Odyssey is over 1 kilometer long. I'm not certain if we'll be able to make it work. We'll have to consult with Drake. He might have some ideas, especially considering the access he has to information and his clearance. Right, let's get back to the 25th century. I think we have everything we can get from here. I'm redirecting the reactor to the Triolic portal. Let's see if we can get this right. If we can't, then we are kind of stuck. We'll have to wait for Drake to send someone after us. Redirecting. Another Triolic wave shift. Right, I think I got it. Devidians. Fire! God, I'm glad I brought this thing with us. God, that's one down. Open fire! Oh, bloody hell! Cover me! Oh, Flores distracted him. Keep firing! God, Devrel's in a stasis field as well. Come on. Flores? What is Flores shooting at? Devrel says we have another problem. We've absorbed so much Triolic radiation at this point that traveling through the gate again could cause radiation poisoning. She said normally we'd just use hydronolan to flush it out, but our medical supplies aren't protected against phase shifting. Our hydronolan supply is probably already irradiated. She says that our best chance for getting the hydronolan we need is Dr. McCoy. Actually, Doctor, I have a colleague who took a little too much Triolic radiation, and well, I believe the necessary treatment is hydronolan, I think. I'll need a double dose to collate out the significant amount of the Triolic radiation, Doctor. You don't need to see them. It's all right. You have more important duties to do here. You should never lie to your doctor or your bartender. That much radiation would mean you've experienced something close to the epicenter, like fooling around with Triolic waves. You don't need green blood and pointy ears to know that's a bad idea. But when the people on this station really needed it, you came through. I appreciate that. I think I can spare a few doses. Just don't let the station's captain hear about it.
So Driffin's comet is the source of the Triolic radiation. That explains a lot. However, we cannot simply destroy it in our time. The Devidians have the means to go back to the 23rd century and harness its energy there. However, that will be their only other chance. Before that, there's no Drozana station, so there's no place that will be close enough to the comet's trajectory to be of use to them. The only logical solution is to alter the past. Destroy the comet there and save the Federation. As it happens, I have access to a way to transport your ship back to the 23rd century. It's risky, but I think the odds are in your favor. And if they aren't, there's always time for another try. I'll make the arrangements. Stay in touch. Drake out.
Well, as I suspected, Drake does indeed have another way for us to get back to the past and destroy that comet. A way that he has yet to reveal, of course. I'm sure he'll get back to us once he confirms that it's a possibility. But, till then, I should probably get out of this uniform. After I finish my tea, of course.